3, 2. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. This is Zahid Shah and guests. I hope everybody's okay. Just to start off with a little prayer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Just a quick one. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody. I hope the fasts are going well. I've got two hosts with me today, Jem Stack and Tariq Ali. In a minute, I'm going to get those two to... Well, Tariq doesn't need to introduce himself, but Jem can. But yeah, Tariq's here. Jem, do you want to say a few words about yourself?
So hi, thanks for having me on. Came on last year and it was a really, really good experience. So happy to be back. I am a teacher at a primary school in Wolverhampton, and I'm also a keen, avid cricket player and also coach as well. So head up the junior section at Ford Houses Cricket Club, and also I'm first team captain there too.
Jem, while we're at it, and you've just mentioned that you're the head of cricket at Ford Houses Cricket Club, do you mind giving your club a plug where you know, how can people join Ford Houses Cricket Club, and how can young prospective England players or, you know, club players come to register with the club? What days do you train?
Juniors, we've moved outside now, so it's on a Friday, every Friday, up until about September now, and it's 6 o'clock until 7:30. We move it to about 8 o'clock when the weather gets better and further into the summer. But yeah, pretty much just come along. There's no sort of joining or anything like that. You've just got to come along. First session is a bit of a taster session, so if you enjoy it, come back next week. So.
Where are you based, Ford Houses Cricket Club?
It's on the Wobaston Road in Ford Houses, so just off the Stafford Road.
Excellent, thank you. And Tariq, how are you today?
A little bit tired, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. It's been a long day in the office.
You were trying to pull out, weren't you, about an hour ago?
I'm not going to lie to you, I was, yes. But I'm here now, so let's make the most of it. Nice to see you, Jem. Looking well, mate.
Thank you, and you too.
Ready for the season?
I tell you what, Jem's buzzing after yesterday. You know, he's the main man at Ford Houses, and first and seconds won. Good victories.
Good victories, yeah. But I mean, I'm starting to feel it. 2 games in 2 days, and I woke up this morning. I couldn't really move, to be honest, because some tired joints. I think I'm getting too old for 2 days.
You're a young lad. You know, look at me and Tariq.
Yeah, it's definitely taking its toll these days, more so than 10 years ago. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, did you play yesterday, Tariq?
No, mate, I'm trying to stay away as long as I can.
Well, you know, I did play. I played in the seconds. We won very convincingly.
Well, you had a couple of friendlies, did you, guys?
Yeah, we played Kings Heath on Saturday. They actually, we were due to play Oswestry, who pulled out last minute. Same thing happened to Kings Heath, so they hosted us, which was good. Okay. Last minute friendly, and then we played Silverdale yesterday. So we welcomed Alex McChristie back to Ford Houses, and he brought his band of merry men down, and so it was a really good day. We played first team and second team played. So.
Oh, can I apologise? Somebody's trying to ring me. They shouldn't be ringing me on the radio. Apologies, but I tell you, Jem, I don't know. Well, you're away. It was my birthday yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
Happy birthday for yesterday.
Yeah, thank you. And
happy birthday, fella.
Yeah, well, you know, 24.
Again?
Yeah, again.
That's just the days. We'll put the nights in.
Well, the interesting thing was, Jem, do you know I had, there was 3 of us from my family playing at Ford Houses yesterday. So my 2 boys, Zayn and Zach, were playing against each other, and I was on the other side. It was amazing. It was the best, it's probably one of the best birthdays I've had, because I could look over and see both of my lads playing, and at the same time I was playing that game that I love the most. It was brilliant. It was a great atmosphere, wasn't it, Jem, yesterday at the club?
Yeah, it was really good. It was, I mean, we've played 2 friendlies up until yesterday, but I woke up Sunday morning and I was really buzzing just to get back out on Ford Houses, and then again just to pull up on the ground, knowing that cricket was back and playing there. I knew that obviously later on in the day it would fill up and there'll be families there. So it was really good to be back there. And of course for yourself as well. From a personal perspective, you had 2 lads playing against each other, and they both played really well. So that was good too.
Thank you, Jem. I mean, you know, yesterday, it dawned on me because I mean I've been at Ford Houses for a number of years, like yourself, Jem. You know, the atmosphere at the club is just amazing, isn't it? You know, doesn't matter when you're playing, it could be freezing. There's always people there watching, you know, and the clubhouse is always really full. Tariq, yourself,
Oh,
Wolves, come
we'll
on,
talk about Wolves in a moment. Tell you what I did on Sunday.
go on.
I had a bit of a net. I've had a bit of a shoulder injury, like I told you last week. So
Yeah.
I managed to get my arm over for a bit over at Wolverhampton. Unfortunately, I was coaching all afternoon on under 15s and under 13s MCC stuff. So I didn't get to see much of the weather. I was stuck in the gym most of the day. What was the weather like yesterday?
It's good, still chilly, but it was good. I think this week it's getting a bit rainy, which is always the way. As soon as cricket season starts, it starts snowing or raining.
Yeah,
Or
so yeah, weather,
Yeah.
mate, it's always the same first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was a bit chilly yesterday, but I think what happened because everybody was buzzing to get out there. You know, I don't think people felt it so much. I think towards the end, but even at the end, it was quite chock a block, wasn't it? You know, in the clubhouse. You know, afterwards it was jam packed. I mean, even big respect going out to McChristie and the boys at Silverdale Cricket Club. They stayed behind, didn't they?
yeah, and I'm told that on a Sunday evening we have the weekly bingo, and I think some of their lads actually stayed and played bingo. I don't think they left till about 11 o'clock, so they joined in with the weekly bingo.
Sounds like a good night.
It was buzzing. It really was buzzing, and you know, I mean, I stayed as long as I could, but I was fasting, so I had to get home to open the fast. But you know, Ford Houses is an excellent place to be. You know, even at the end of a game, win or lose. Guys, I just what I want to do is we've got a little bit of an agenda, so I want to talk about the Premier Division first. I know that you two are massive Wolves fans. Jem more so because he's got a ticket. He's got a season ticket. He goes home and away. I mean, I remember Jem a few weeks ago. He was down in Norwich. You know, so I mean that just shows the commitment of the man when it comes to supporting his club. You know, I'm a Liverpool fan, so you know we're
There's
gonna.
always one in there, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I've always been Liverpool fan from when I was a kid. But you know, I was telling you guys earlier on. I remember.
If I got a pound for everyone, someone told me that I'd be a rich man. I used to support him as a kid.
No, I didn't support Wolves as a kid, but I love watching football. And you know, at the time, the old South Bank, you know, we used to have, you know, one of the groundsmen, you know, God bless him. He used to realise we love football, so he used to let us in, and we'd stand in the South Bank and watch the Wolves play in the old First Division, you know, and then you know I watched Wolves in the Second, Third, and Fourth Division, you know, when there was hardly any fans there. But you know, now Jem, you know, coming to you, Wolves, great place to be now, isn't it? And great to have a season ticket, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so. Very lucky. I think that they're in big demand at the moment because of the success that they've had over the last few years. So yeah, it's really good. I mean, as well, from my perspective, I go with my dad, and we sit in the Billy Wright stand. So we get a lot of stick for that because it's the quiet stand. But it's good as well because it's kind of something that we can do together. Each time, I know that it brings him a lot of pleasure and a lot of joy as well. So, aside from obviously the Wolves, the football and everything else like that, it's nice from a family perspective to have that opportunity to do something together every week or every fortnight whenever the home games are. So,
And how often do you go away?
I try as much as possible. It's usually when Lewis Pete gets me a ticket, which is quite often at the moment. But yeah, we try to go as much as possible.
So Lewis is all the vice captain, isn't he, at Ford House's first team? Yeah.
Yeah. He's the
Can you see his eyes light up? Free tickets.
yeah. He's
Come on, Lewis. I need some free tickets when Liverpool come to Molineux.
There's no one ever from Liverpool that go to the game. It's all people from Wolverhampton, like yourself.
That used to support him when they were a kid.
Well, I didn't say that.
Just to say, Jem, I mean, appreciate Wolves have been very successful the last couple of years. I don't know if it's yourself or just me, but my expectations, expect him to win all the time. And when they lose, I just feel, well, they're a better team than that. And we realise, well, hang on, we're still 8th or 7th, you know, the top half of the table. And we're still in a lot better position than a lot of other Premier Division clubs. But I don't know, my expectation levels are always high all the time now, regardless of who we're playing. But that's the sort of standard they've set in the last couple of years, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. And I think that they've had, well, even top six teams, they've beaten them consistently as well, even this year. So there's never a game that you go into it expecting them to lose or to lose heavily, because it's just not what they're about. But yeah, the expectations have got greater, which is sometimes difficult because
I just think this year when they're poor, they have been poor.
yeah.
Last couple of seasons they've had bad games, but this year I think when they've been poor, they've been really poor, haven't they?
Yeah, Friday night was one of the poorest performances, but ultimately,
Well, I don't know. I didn't think Crystal Palace was great, to be fair.
well, no, that very similar performances going away, and probably setting out for a draw or just sort of getting men behind the ball, but it just didn't work out on either occasions. But I mean, we're looking at Crystal Palace. I think they're a decent team, but going to Newcastle, I would have expected to get a point from there. So really disappointing, and it would have taken a sixth as well.
Yeah, but we keep touching fifth or sixth, and then we just just can't get that last couple of games together to just push us into that little spot, can we?
No,
And consolidate. But never mind, it'll come. It'll come.
yeah, I think that the strength and depth isn't there this season.
Yeah.
And it really kind of came to the front on Friday night when we had 3 or 4 players out. And the team that we fielded was essentially the sort of team you'd see first round of a Carabao Cup fixture.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at the side and thought we'll do well to get a 0-0 there. Maybe scrape a 1-1 if that. But
Yeah.
No, I think with the Wolves, the football is a lot better than what I used to see back then. So you can't complain. I know they might have the odd up and down, but they do still play some excellent football, don't they?
I think more so as well this year. They've obviously the new managers come in, fresh ideas, and they are playing some better football, getting the best out of players like Podence. We still haven't seen much from Neto since he's come back from his injury, but it is a pleasure to watch. Yeah, it's good football.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've got Villa. Can you believe this? Right, they've signed Coutinho, right? So that kind of quality of player, when a Wolves gonna start signing players like that, how can they, get Coutinho and Wolves can't?
They've got a lot of money. I mean, they've got a lot of money off the sale of Jack Grealish as well, and he's only on loan. I think they'll probably take up the option to buy Coutinho. But yeah, I don't know. And to be fair to Wolves, they seem to have had this policy for the last 4 years, really, since the takeover, which was get young, hungry players that want to come and play in the Premier League, and with that sort of agreement that if a big club comes in, then they will be willing to sell it. And we saw it with Jota. I think that we brought him to Wolves.
How well has he been playing at Liverpool?
Oh, he's
Amazing,
unbelievable, yeah, unbelievable.
I can't believe it, mate. I'm shocked as a Liverpool fan. I didn't think he was that good, but obviously, it does matter, doesn't it? The manager that you have.
I mean, he was brilliant at Wolves, and when he came to Wolves, he was still pretty much a kid. He'd just come out of his teens. He was brilliant and really enjoyable to watch it. Some of the nights down at Molineux in the Europa League, he was brilliant, sensational in those games. So it was a really sad time when he went, because I really liked him. But having said that, I enjoy watching playing for Liverpool because he's doing well there.
Yeah, I mean, just going back on the transfer, I think Wolves they're very tight, aren't they?
Yeah.
They have a player they watch for a long time and they think he's gonna fit into our plans and this is what we're gonna go with. It's not we need to spend money, so let's get X, Y, and Z. We want the right player we can nurture, get in and probably sell, make a bit of money and just keep the club going. I think it's just their business model, isn't it? And it's working. Like we said, we're top half of the table for the last couple of 3 seasons. So yeah, it's been nice to push on to the next level and get in the top 4 or even top 5. But then you do need to start spending some big money, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's something that I can kind of relate to as well, particularly this year, taking on the captaincy at Ford Houses. It's not always just what they do on the pitch; it's off the pitch as well.
Exactly.
And you've got to have the right characters. You've got to have them buying into what your values and your beliefs are. And I think that that's what a big key thing for Wolves is, that they don't want guys coming in that are just going to sort of assert themselves and flex their muscles. They want them to buy into the philosophy of the club.
Exactly, a very valid point, mate. Every team's made up of so many different characters and everyone brings something different, but you've got to have that balance. too much of one character, and then you could be playing well, but you're not getting the results, are you?
Well, just to interrupt, lads.
Sorry, mate. Are you here as well today?
Sorry for being rude. If anybody's got any questions or they want to get involved with the conversations, the number for the studio is 01902 972 150. Let me repeat that again: 01902 972 150. And if you want to WhatsApp text, it's 07440 07440 420 432. So 07440 420 432. Yeah, just getting back to the Premier Division. And if you watched the highlights of the game yesterday, or did you watch the game yesterday, the Liverpool City game?
I was coaching, but I managed to see the goals. Felt like it was a good game, to be fair.
Jem, what do you think?
No, I didn't catch it. I didn't. I watched Match of the Downs Saturday, but I didn't catch yesterday's game.
Yeah, I watched it. Not the game, live. I just watched the highlights, and I think it was the Liverpool were probably a bit lucky actually to get away with the point.
Man City had a few chances toward the end. They did. Just didn't put them away.
Mahrez should have buried that one at the end, shouldn't he? Really, with somebody his quality. What do you think, guys? I mean, Jem, firstly, you. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna win the title?
I don't know. I'd like Liverpool to, and part of that goes back to Jota as well. I'd like to think that he's left Wolves to go on to a team to be successful and win the Premier League. But I don't know. I think if Man City would have won yesterday, it would have been theirs. But it's kind of still wide open now, so it makes for good watching in the last few months. But I would say my head is with Man City, but my heart would be with Liverpool.
Tariq?
I think City will do it. And they both got depth, and they're both playing well at the moment. Is who's going to win the key away games, playing second bottom of the league, see if they can come away with a couple of points or not. I think that'll be the difference, really. Well, they're both playing as good as each other, I think.
Yeah, I mean...
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd probably go for Man City.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry to disappoint all them Wolverhampton Liverpool fans.
Well, to be fair with you, I'm still, hoping that Liverpool can... Well, we're hoping that Man City can drop some points, but I mean, looking at their run, I can't, the last few games, I can't see them losing any of them games. What do you think, Jem?
No, I haven't really seen much of the running coming in, but they don't lose many games anyway. And each one of them's a cup final at the moment. They've got such strength and depth in their side that on their day they should be beating anyone.
Was it 5-6 games left?
5 or 6 games. Yeah, guess what? Liverpool's next game is United, so that's not going to be easy. And Tottenham as well. So they've got two big boys in the last few games. So
I think Tottenham will give them a better game than United, I'm afraid.
Yeah, United, they always pick themselves up against Liverpool, don't they? They might be the worst team in the... they're not very good at the moment. They're shocking. But when they come up against Liverpool, they seem to get the extra gear, don't they?
On the subject of Manchester United, they someone needs to go in there and sort that out, because it is, if not the biggest club in the world, but at least one of the biggest clubs in the world. And it's just a farce at the moment at Manchester United.
What a fall from grace for them, The last few years, they just seem to go bad from worse. I think they're turning the corner, but they're turning the corner for about 6-7 weeks, and then it's back to square one again, isn't it? They just can't get out the rut. Yeah,
well, it's not like I'm very unhappy about that, you know what I mean? As being a Liverpool fan. But, they're struggling, aren't they? They have struggled, and Jem's right. You've got... Somebody's got to get in there, and...
I don't know about getting in there. I think there'll be a clear out this year. I think enough's enough. I think there'll be a few big names going this year, I think.
Yeah, and it's not just squad players as well. They've got some really big names that I think they just need to get rid of, because they just don't seem to be going anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's just is it Bruno? He's probably the only player that they got, really, haven't they? Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
No, I don't like him though.
No, what I'm trying to do is
Portuguese, isn't he?
He's Portuguese. He should be playing for Wolves instead. He's at the wrong club.
Well, the thing is I'm trying to figure out of the United team at the moment who would actually get into the Liverpool or City side. What do you guys think? Tariq, to you first. What do you reckon?
I'm not too sure, to be fair.
There isn't anybody, is there? Jem?
No.
At Manchester United, I mean, David De Gea is a good goalkeeper.
Better than Alisson? And better than...
Probably not better. He's probably in the same calibre of those, I
Yeah.
would say. Would he knock him off? Probably not. And Harry Maguire certainly wouldn't get in the teams.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I can't really think of anyone that stands out. You'd want Cristiano Ronaldo on his day because he's still a world-class player, but he's not the same
Yeah, but he's
player.
a bit on and off now. You know, he's
Yeah.
not the player he used to be. Bless him. Been a class player, but I think his days are numbered now.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that was a bit of... when United signed him, it was all about bringing in revenue, wasn't it, really? Selling a few shirts, really.
Oh, he's
more than
he's
anything
still
else.
going to win you 4, 5, 6 games a season, but 4, 5, 6 games a season aren't going to win you anything in the top 4, are they?
No, I'm just talking about the top four's quite interesting at the moment because Arsenal look like they're going to get in there, and United look like they're going to get in there, and Tottenham, and then all of a sudden they start losing it against poor sides. Like the other day, what was it? Arsenal, they got beat by Brighton.
Yeah, heavily beaten by Brighton as well. But I watched the highlights of that, and they were unlucky. I felt Arsenal. They were probably the better team over the 90 minutes. And I do like Arsenal, and I think they've benefited. When Arteta came in, he didn't have much success, but they've stuck with him, and he's built a side now which is an exciting young side, good to watch, and they're doing. I think that it's justified where they are in the table. And also with Arsenal, I went to the game away at the Emirates, massive, fantastic stadium,
Yeah.
and the atmosphere was good there as well. And so yeah, I've developed a bit of a likability for Arsenal this season, so I hope that they do well.
What about you, Tariq? Any? No. You don't. You've got nothing else to say.
Nothing else to say.
Well, there you are. Well, the thing is just sort of we're coming to a break in the next minute and a half. After the break, we're going to be touching on primary school and secondary school education. We're going to look at more specific areas, and Tariq here is an education consultant. He's not really, but he's a man of the world, and he's obviously got kids who've grown up and gone to university. We'd like to get some of his feedback. It'd be nice for people out there, to listen in on that part of the show. And if you want to text, the number is 07440 and the studio number is 01902 972 150. Before we go to the break, we've got about a minute. I'm going to touch on something with Jem and with Tariq, because both of you guys are leaders. You've always been, Jem, it's your second sort of year as captain. Tariq, you've been a captain for how long? How many years now?
It's going to be 25 years this year.
25 years. So what I'm going to do is just after the break, I want to talk about leadership, and then we'll go into education, the importance, what Jem has found, being a captain at Forward House is, what's he learned, how's he taken that into this season, and Tariq, yourself, what you've been doing over the last 15, 20 years as captain, and why are you still captain? There's got to be something about your character that does that. We've got 10 seconds, so that number's again 01902 972 150 and 07 440 420 432. See you in a bit.
The death of a loved one is a very emotional and challenging time for the family members of the deceased. Al Mu'min Funeral Services have been supporting families across the UK since 2005. Their professional, experienced and quality service ensures the whole process from release from hospital to burial is taken care of respectfully and efficiently. They also specialise in worldwide repatriations, assisting to take loved ones to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Iraq or anywhere worldwide. almu'minfunerals.co.uk, your trusted funeral service.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01902 745 773 or visit us on our website at kenneth-jones.co.uk.
Betsy's Burgers taste flippin' awesome. Betsy's world famous burgers are coming soon to Wolverhampton and Wednesfield. Prepare for sizzling hot smash burgers, bubbling mac and cheese, and sensational sides. Betsy's is home to undefeated crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside fries. Dunk your Betsy's burger in a lava hot melted cheese and get a load of our loaded fries and mouth-watering cheese-filled onion rings. The king is dead. Long live the queen. Betsy's Burgers, coming flippin' soon. Eurofit Auto Centres, the West Midlands' leading independent auto centre, celebrating 18 years of service. All services, MOT and repairs, with a free collection and drop-off service within Wolverhampton. Book online today at eurofitautocentres.co.uk or call us on 01902 40 40 45 and we'll direct you to your nearest branch. The experts making vehicle repairs simple.
Are you in receipt of benefits and looking for cavity wall or underfloor insulation? Did you know, with Northern Gas Heating, you could get a free boiler with the insulation measure of your choice? Call 0800 083 1000 or go to northerngasheating.com to see if you're eligible. It's a quick and easy assessment. Northern Gas Heating, celebrating over 20 years in the industry. We're proud to be the UK's local central heating company.
Feeling peckish? Treat your taste buds with a range of delicious snacks and flavours of the Far East from Indus. Why not try our range of roasted nuts, dried fruit, Bombay mix and flavoured snacks? Indus by AIB Foods. Available in your local supermarkets and varied retailers. Indus, the world's finest foods. Khan Builders offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring and high quality service and always meet our customers' needs. Contact Khan Builders today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Khan Builders. Pack Continental, your local best halal supermarket in Wolverhampton. Established for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on our fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. We have a variety of spices and lentils. We're also an award-winning Halal Butcher of the Year for 2 consecutive years. We supply excellent quality meat and poultry delivered fresh daily to our store. Visit us today at 1 to 3 Hunter Street, Wolverhampton, WV6 0QZ, or call 01902 717 792. Open 9am till 8pm Monday to Saturday and 10am till 6pm on Sundays. Do you need planning permission and don't know where to start? Whether you're planning on extending your family home or building a new one, Footprint Design Architects are here for you. With a broad range of experience in residential, commercial and industrial architecture, we pride ourselves in offering a unique, tailored service for all our clients. For more information, visit our website www.footprintdesign.net or contact us at info@footprintdesign.net.
Ramadan's blessed days are the perfect opportunity to reach out to suffering families in the Ummah with our charity. You can do so by donating to one of Ummah Welfare Trust's many projects which are helping our brothers and sisters in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. In these difficult days, charity is one of the best ways to earn Allah's pleasure and protection. To give yours, call 0800 4 0800 11 or visit uwt.org.
This is Ramadan Radio, your local voice, your local Muslim radio. Go to ramadanradiowolves.com and donate to your local mosque.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Zahid Shah and guests. Well, I wouldn't even say guests. They're co-hosts. Jem Stack and Tariq Ali. Just before we went off, we were talking about leadership, and these two are leaders, in their own right, and they're both good leaders. Now, if anybody's got any questions or they want to send a message in, again, let me just remind you, the phone number is 01902 972 150. That's landline, and the WhatsApp, if you want to text in, it's 07 440 420 432. Thank you very much. So, leadership. Tariq, Jem, I'm going to talk to Tariq about it first. Tariq, you've been a captain for 15, 20 years, not just at Wolverhampton. You was
25 years. Yeah.
25 years, okay. So, you've been a captain for about 25 years.
It's a free clock, that is, isn't it?
Well, it should be. Should be, but you ain't going to get it, are you? It's one of those jobs, isn't it? But why? Why 25 years? Go on.
To be honest with you, my take on leadership is it's like any other skill, whether you're a footballer, you're a batter, you're a bowler. I think it's a skill you've got to have. It's not for everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody can be leaders. I think leadership can be taught. I think it's something you just develop if you're a leader naturally. I've always been good with people. I've always encouraged people. And I think the biggest thing is if you're happy for people around you to succeed, you're always going to be a good leader. I think that's an important aspect to have, because if you don't want people around you to do well, then you're not going to be a good leader, to be fair. Naturally, you've got to be able to develop others, lead others, show them direction, show them guidance, whatever it is that you do, whatever you're a leader in. But it's not something that you can be taught. It's just something, I think it is a bit of a skill. Going back to your question of why I've done it for 25 years, I'm not saying...
Is it just staying the side?
I'm not saying I've hated it. I probably enjoy when I'm doing it, but there's times, when it becomes a chore and I think, this will be my last season. Somebody else can have a go, because there's just so much to it. It's most of your life. I mean, Jem and I, it takes 25, 30 hours a week of your life, especially if you're playing in there as well, and your selections and sorting it out, and who's been picked and who's been dropped, and he's not happy, and X, Y, and Z's not happy, and they're leaving the club, and there's just so much issues that come with being leaders as captains. But when you're playing together as a team and you see that bonding, you see people playing for each other, especially when you're winning, although it's not all about winning. You put a smile on people's face, people come to watch you, you have the banter off the pitch in the dressing room. I mean, I even go half the shenanigans that go on in the dressing rooms. It's all part of the fun. You get to meet people. I mean, I must have met thousands and thousands of people in the 35 years I've been playing cricket. And to be honest with you, I'll probably stay in touch with most of them.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm going to ask Jem exactly the same question. What do you do outside cricket? What's your job?
So I actually work for the DWP, so I'm a civil servant. So I'm a team leader.
You're a team leader. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say. Okay. And I'm going to go over to Jem. Jem, second season. I think you had half a season last year as captain.
Yeah, it was probably 2/3 of the season that I was captain last year.
And then you're starting off this year. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your, how have you found it?
I found it last year was quite challenging, and the main reason for that was not having that pre-season. Obviously, I'd taken the captaincy, or picked it up really, and it was more when Guesty wasn't around. So I wasn't able to put my spin on it, and I wasn't able to have that pre-season, get those faces in there and get on board. I think it's a tough gig as well when you're stepping in, because people they don't always see you as captain.
Absolutely.
So you don't always have that voice really as a captain. And a lot of the time, if people maybe don't hear what they want to hear, well, it's okay because you're not the captain anyway, sort of thing. So it was quite a challenge last year. But going into this season, all those things that I've just mentioned are different. We've had a strong pre-season, managed to build a group of players that I think that their values and their beliefs align with mine. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to where that's going to go this season.
What do you do as a job?
I am a teacher, but I'm also the Senko at the school, so I'm part of the senior leadership team as well.
Okay, so can you see why I've touched on this? Because I know that you both aren't just leaders on the cricket pitch, but you're actually leaders in your professions as well. So leadership, is this something that's can it be taught, or is it something that comes naturally?
To be honest with you, I mean, playing cricket is a lot of skills I've learnt on the field that I use in my day job in the office, and vice versa. There's a lot of skills I've learnt in the office over the years that I can take and use on the field. So it's about who you are as a person and where you want to learn from. I mean, we learn skills even at 54 and 25 years of captaincy, there's probably still stuff out there that I haven't learnt. But you meet other people, you see how they do and how other things are going on around you, and you just pick up good habits. And if you're somebody who, like myself, does a lot of networking, and I'll speak to anybody, keep in touch with anybody, and probably hundreds of thousands of people over my lifetime that I have met, but I've always taken something good away from them, because I see the good in everybody.
Jem, do you want to add on that?
I mean, I do a lot of reading. It's something that at school, for example, we're quite big advocates of, that you can do a lot of research into things. I read a book recently which was called Legacy, and it was by James Kerr, I think. It's written all about the All Blacks, New Zealand rugby, and the leadership that took them from being a pretty average side in the 90s to being the best and the most dominant force in world rugby. And I picked up a lot from there, and it was more about how you can challenge certain behaviours, or how things aren't normally going your way, what are the best ways to do it. And I think that for me, paired with learning over the years, I've played under a lot of captains that I've learned a lot from, and I think that they've all added something to my leadership style. Some I've took the good bits, but it's also important as well to realise that there are bad bits that you don't take on as well. So yeah, every captain that I've played under has kind of contributed to where I'm at as a captain now.
I think it's also important that you are you. If you want to be the captain, you want the people that you want around you that are going to be successful and help you succeed. Yes, as captains, I mean, you'll probably know over the next few years we are going to have players in the side that don't really want to be there, but they're there for a particular reason. But we just learn to manage them, don't you? And you just live with it, I guess.
Yeah,
I think for me, I mean, I've looked at you both, and I think you, as a leader, you've got to be more than a leader. I think it's something that's in your makeup, in your DNA. It has to be, because I've just realised, and I knew what you guys were doing. I had a feeling, I knew Tariq was a team leader at work, and I knew you were on the senior leadership team. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out, you can make people lead, but sometimes they're not natural leaders. I think this has to be part of your makeup. It's part of your DNA. Do you know what I mean?
I think you're definitely gonna need to want it. If you don't want it,
that's the word.
People ain't gonna go and pick you out and say you're a leader. You definitely gotta want it, and if you want it, you will find a role that suits you.
What do you think, Jim?
I think it's part of your personality as well. I've got quite an all or nothing personality, so if I'm doing something, I really buy into it massively, and I want to contribute in a positive way to everything that's to do with that subject, whether it be at work or whether it's cricket. And I think that then takes me into the realms of, okay, well, what they put into this, they could be seen as a leader, or they could lead this side because they kind of lead from the front. So I think it's part of that, your personality as well.
Oh, Tariq, what's your leadership style?
I'm quite calm.
You are. I've got to say, you are calm.
I do take a lot of things on board, but initially, you want everybody involved. Obviously, the decision lies with me, but I'll think things through before I make a decision. I'm not a short-term thinker, to be fair. I'm more of a medium and long-term thinker. So just naturally, whatever I'm thinking, I've always think where I'm going to be at the end of the day, and then start working backwards. I just find that it helps me to alleviate any problems that are going to come in the middle. Polite, I would say I'm probably polite.
But can you be polite, you know,
No,
as
I
a leader
can
all
be-
the time?
Yes, I mean, part of some of the roles that I do, I have to give bad news, but you can give it in a polite way. You don't have to be angry and aggressive to give bad news. You know, you can have just as good argument, being polite about it, and not coming across aggressive. I don't know what you feel, Jen, but
Well, I was
I've
going to
had
ask Jem-
many a conversation when, you know, we spoke a bit loud. It would sound like an argument, but we've been polite about it and got the points across. You know, you don't have to kick off at every moment, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
what about your leadership style, Jim? Would I be right to say you're a very analytical man, aren't you?
Yeah, particularly when it comes to cricket. I think I'm a big believer of these kind of 2%ers and finding the edge in various different ways. So I do reflect a lot on everything, and
It's good.
I'm not necessarily, particularly with people when things aren't going their way, if they're failing, then it's more trying to put an arm around them and give them the confidence, because we've all been there when things have failed ourselves or in our own lives, and the last thing that you need is someone just telling you that you just made a mistake. Sometimes there are some people out there that need that because maybe they don't see that they're doing something wrong, but I think there's a way to go about it, and it has to fit with that individual's personality type as well, because you can say the same thing to two different people and they'll take it in two completely different ways. So understanding your players, understanding them as people, but yeah, I'd say similar to Tarek, really quite a sort of laid back style of leadership. But I think the key thing is that just because it's laid back doesn't necessarily mean that we don't care, but it's just that's your personality and that's your leadership style.
I mean,
excellent points.
Sorry to just
No,
diverge
so you
slightly.
carry on,
We-
Terry.
We talked about something last week on the show about young adults or young children playing cricket. I mean, do you find this generation or the last couple of generations, kids aren't as strong as the previous 5-6 generations? I mean, you take me and Sonny here, we're well into our 50s now. If you look at players in our era, every one of them, they were just so mentally stronger. You know, our tolerance levels were so much more. I mean, nowadays, this is my personal feeling. It's just hard to just build resilience into kids. It's all or nothing. They're very good at it, or if they fail very quickly, and that's it. That's the end of the world for them.
Yeah, I think resilience is a big thing. I think that particularly now, off the back of the 2 years with all the restrictions that were in place over the last couple of years, there's a cohort and there's a kind of 2-year window of kids that didn't get much cricket, and I think that we're starting to see now that they have fallen behind really, and they've missed out on that. So, but I think in terms of mental toughness and sort of resilience, you are right, and it's navigating your way through that. And we've got a really young side, and I would say it's probably one of the youngest in the leagues.
I think it is the youngest in the league, mate. It really is.
Yeah, and with that comes that same challenge of having to, because they are going to fail. And even now, we're 3 games in, and there have been failings on an individual basis. But it's about how you can kind of pick them up and get the best out of them, because they are still learning every game. But yeah, you're right. They don't take it as well.
No,
It's difficult to pick them
It's a
back
shame, and hopefully, the next couple of years things will change again, because the future of cricket it is in the young kids and the youth at the moment, because these are the ones who are going to keep carrying the forward, and God willing, in the next 20 years there'll be somebody else in that chair and they'll be sitting here talking about cricket like we are.
Well, the thing is the question that you mentioned there. I can't. I was watching a county training setup. Worcester, they were having Worcestershire. They were having sort of kids cricket training, and one of the coaches was like you and I, a bit old school, and his philosophy was that, I'm going to give them a hard time. So he was smacking the ball at these kids, and 14, 15. So one's actually, he's tried to catch it, and it's gone through his hand, and he's got a bloody nose and bloody mouth, and the parents all started kicking off. And a couple of the parents were chatting to me about it and said, it's a bit out of order. I said, no, it's not. They go, what if it was your lad? I said, well, he's got to get tough, innit? And he said, yeah, but that's not the way it is now. I said, well, it's got to be, because you can't keep on wrapping him up in cotton wool and mollycoddling him every time and saying, it's going to be all right. They've got to realise that sometimes the hurdles are going to get, bigger and bigger. So they've got to get over those hurdles. And if they don't have it hard and they've always got it easy, when it does get hard, they won't be able to deal with it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, first of all, let's just put it out there. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
We're not sure if that actually happened, but it's your opinion. If that's what you feel, that's great.
Yeah.
We don't want to blame any coach. Bless him.
No, I didn't mention any names, but I'm saying I felt that that coach specifically was going about it the right way, right? He was trying to toughen the lads up, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, it's a fair point. I mean, I'm currently doing some MCC stuff for the 13s and 15s, and we've got a mix. Yes, some people's tolerance levels are quite high, others a little bit fragile. But they're part of the same team. I don't differentiate. We want them together. We want to build that team bond. And we want to be looking out for each other. So as a coach, you just balance it. You know if it's somebody who's a little bit softer, you just take it a little bit easier. And the chap's coming up for his goal, then you go a little bit harder and a little bit quicker. But that's just experience of a coach. But yes, when they do step up, them challenges will come because it's not easy out there, to be fair.
It ain't easy out there. What do you think, Jim? It isn't easy, is it?
No, not at all. It's a difficult one. I think it goes back as well that knowing the individuals, knowing the different players, people, what's going to work for them. I think that you can take two younger players that are probably scared of the ball. One of them's going to benefit from, like Tarek said, working up from a soft ball and just building their confidence and doing it that way. Whereas the other one will benefit from having those balls hit at them hard from day one, and they build it up from there. So it's just about understanding the individual that you're working with, I suppose.
Yeah.
We were talking about leadership. So how does that apply to some of these young people coming up now? I mean, have they got those kind of qualities? Have you seen any youngsters where you look at them and think, I think he's going to be a good leader?
I mean, personally, you think you see 2 or 3 every year, but as the season gets on and the pressure starts building and the games start piling on, and then you can see them just generally getting tired, and then all of a sudden you think, you know what, no, they're not quite ready yet. But there is people out there, whether people want to stand up this day and age. I mean, Jem will know as a captain, it's not just about the captains. You're dealing with the umpires, the players. You're dealing with selection. You're dealing with pitches. You're dealing with match balls. You're dealing with the safeguarding issues. You're dealing with recording, cameramen, photographs. I mean, you was at a meeting last week. We was on the league, wasn't he? We was talking about stuff, and it's more to you than just playing cricket as a captain, isn't it?
It's a good point as well with the meeting, which I think the nature of which cricket at the moment and where it's heading, I think is really positive. I sat down yesterday and had a good chat with one of the umpires, one of the league umpires that had come and umpired our game, and we were just talking about where it's going.
Yeah.
And I think that the analogy that has been used is that they're not, in previous years, we've probably finished a cricket season and they've said, oh, great, there's only been 14 incidents reported this year. And actually, umpires are leaving every year. And what they're actually have probably realised that it's not the 14 incidents, it's the 100 incidents that don't get reported. Yeah. That's the problem. So I think now it's that zero tolerance approach on it. And I think that there's a huge emphasis as well now as a leader to ensure that you embed that into your players and say, these are the expectations. In fact, now they're the rules. And if you breach those, then you're going to end up getting reported. You could end up getting banned. But also, it's partly my responsibility as the captain to make sure that they adhere to those rules that are there.
So if you're wondering what Jam's talking about, we've had captains meeting for the Staffordshire League stuff that I do. Yeah. And we've had all the captains in from every team this year, and we've drilled it home. We've set up, reformatted our disciplinary situations this year, so we're going to be a lot tougher on captains this year. So basically what we're saying in a nutshell is the captain's responsibility. If the players are messing about or behaving, it's the captain's responsibility. They've got to get harder on the players. Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best way, because the match yesterday, both the staff umpires, weren't they?
They were. Yeah. Well, I think one now is on the Birmingham League panel. So they were good, strong umpires.
They were good, strong umpires, and the game was played with a good spirit as well, wasn't it? There was no headache. I know it was a friendly, but still, I've played in friendlies where things have got out of hand. You know what I mean? But it was, really played good spirit. There was no negative or inappropriate banter in any way whatsoever, was there?
No, and I think that's something that's emerged, particularly from everything that happened up in Yorkshire, is that a lot of people perceived, or they used the terminology as banter quite freely. And I think that it's right that off the back of that, a kind of zero tolerance approach to it, particularly at club cricket, that we just eradicate it. And like we've spoken about, is that we can create that buzz, but we got to create it within ourselves. Too many times in the years that I've been playing cricket, if it goes flat, then inevitably the team starts just getting on the other team's back and starts sledging and stuff, which that's kind of gone out the window now. So got to.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be interesting. Gem and Pelsall first game of the season.
It is going to be interesting, yeah. But the way the weather's looking, we probably won't get on the pitch. So
yeah, forecast ain't great for a couple of weeks.
You playing on Sunday? Anything for Sunday, or is it just going to be?
No. Gone. I think after this weekend, gone are the days I play 2 games in a weekend.
And just touching on Jem, talking about banter. I mean, I've sat on many disciplinary hearings for staffs. I have been for quite a few years. And believe it or not, every serious situation that happens has started, if you put the clock back 3 hours, from a little bit of banter that they thought was just a bit of fun. 3 hours later in the afternoon, it's become serious. And they've both been reporting and banned for 8 or 10 games or whatever it is. But it always starts with a little bit of banter. And we're not saying you can't have banter. You can play aggressive cricket, but, being in somebody's face and effing and blinding and threatening their mum and dad, I mean... Yeah,
that's wrong.
I mean, and there's a line, isn't there? There's a line.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think when you start getting personal, then it's not banter, is it?
No.
Then it's actually going past extremes. Guys, we've got a minute before we go to break. People out there listening, studio number 01902 972150 and WhatsApp 07440 420 432. That text number again, because it's a long one, 07440 420 432. Now, after the break, we're going to be talking about education, primary and secondary. Half an hour. It's not going to be enough. I was hoping for a guest to ring in from Saka, the South Asian Cricket Academy, but he hasn't got back to me, so I don't think that's going to be possible. But we can carry on with this debate and maybe go into that. So we'll see you guys back in the next. I think we got a break for about 5 minutes. So from myself, Tariq, and Jem, we'll be back in a few minutes. So have a good one. Have a little break, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
The death of a loved one is a very emotional and challenging time for the family members of the deceased. Al Mu'min Funeral Services have been supporting families across the UK since 2005. Their professional, experienced and quality service ensures the whole process from release from hospital to burial is taken care of respectfully and efficiently. They also specialise in worldwide repatriations, assisting to take loved ones to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Iraq or anywhere worldwide. almu'minfunerals.co.uk, your trusted funeral service.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01902 745 773 or visit us on our website at kenneth-jones.co.uk.
Betsy's burgers taste flippin' awesome. Betsy's world-famous burgers are coming soon to Wolverhampton and Wednesfield. Prepare for sizzling hot smash burgers, bubbling mac and cheese, and sensational sides. Betsy's is home to undefeated crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside fries. Dunk your Betsy's burger in a lava-hot melted cheese and get a load of our loaded fries and mouth-watering cheese-filled onion rings. The king is dead. Long live the queen. Betsy's Burgers, coming flippin' soon. Eurofit Auto Centres, the West Midlands' leading independent auto centre, celebrating 18 years of service. All services, MOT and repairs, with a free collection and drop-off service within Wolverhampton. Book online today at eurofitautocentres.co.uk or call us on 01902 40 40 45 and we'll direct you to your nearest branch. The experts making vehicle repairs simple.
Are you in receipt of benefits and looking for cavity wall or underfloor insulation? Did you know, with Northern Gas Heating, you could get a free boiler with the insulation measure of your choice? Call 0800 083 1000 or go to northerngasheating.com to see if you're eligible. It's a quick and easy assessment. Northern Gas Heating, celebrating over 20 years in the industry. We're proud to be the UK's local central heating company.
Feeling peckish? Treat your taste buds with a range of delicious snacks and flavours of the Far East from Indus. Why not try our range of roasted nuts, dried fruit, Bombay mix and flavoured snacks? Indus by AIB Foods. Available in your local supermarkets and varied retailers. Indus, the world's finest foods. Khan Builders offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions, and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring, and high-quality service and always meet our customers' needs. Contact Khan Builders today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Khan Builders. Pack Continental, your local best halal supermarket in Wolverhampton. Established for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on our fresh vegetables and fresh fruit. We have a variety of spices and lentils. We're also an award-winning Halal Butcher of the Year for 2 consecutive years. We supply excellent quality meat and poultry delivered fresh daily to our store. Visit us today at 1 to 3 Hunter Street, Wolverhampton, WV6 0QZ, or call 01902 717 792. Open 9am till 8pm Monday to Saturday and 10am till 6pm on Sundays. Do you need planning permission and don't know where to start? Whether you're planning on extending your family home or building a new one, Footprint Design Architects are here for you. With a broad range of experience in residential, commercial and industrial architecture, we pride ourselves in offering a unique, tailored service for all our clients. For more information, visit our website www.footprintdesign.net or contact us at info@footprintdesign.net.
Ramadan's blessed days are the perfect opportunity to reach out to suffering families in the Ummah with our charity. You can do so by donating to one of Ummah Welfare Trust's many projects which are helping our brothers and sisters in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. In these difficult days, charity is one of the best ways to earn Allah's pleasure and protection. To give yours, call 0800 4 0800 11 or visit uwt.org.
This is Ramadan Radio, your local voice, your local Muslim radio. Go to ramadanradiowolves.com and donate to your local mosque.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Zahid Shah and guests, well, co-hosts Tariq Ali and Jem. Just before we carry on with our conversation, those numbers again. I I can't believe that the lines are so busy with so many people ringing in. No, just joking. 01902 972 150. Do not be shy. I think the next section should get a few people a bit more interested. That number again, 01902 972 150. And the WhatsApp text 07 440 420 432. Now, I've got Jem here, who's a primary school teacher. He works at Woodthorne Primary School. Myself, I'm a secondary school maths teacher, and I'm really keen to talk to Jem about his experience as a primary school teacher. I'm being a bit selfish here and wanting to talk a little bit about the ethnic minority community and how they study at school, and hopefully Tariq will have his input as well. So before we sort of move into the main part of the topic, how long have you been teaching now, Jem?
Been teaching for, I'd say, in school probably the best part of 10 years now.
Yeah. Oh, that's the boss. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so best part of 10 years that I've been in schools.
My God, sorry about that, viewers. That was the boss ringing from home, and got a bit scared, because she is the boss. Yeah, 10 years.
Mm.
Have you been at Woodthorne for 10 years?
No. I've been there for 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So you got quite a lot of experience now.
Yeah, I started off working in a special school over in Telford, and that was where I kind of my passion for inclusion and for special education kind of came from. So it's I'm really lucky now that I can bridge the gap between what I was doing back then and being in a mainstream school through my role as Senko, because it kind of I'm working with both worlds there, so it's brilliant.
At Woodthorne School, what's the sort of demographics? I mean, is it mainly Caucasians? Is it South Asians? Is it black? What communities dominate the school?
It's a real mix, to be honest. Because of course Woodthorne is quite an affluent area. It brings in all different backgrounds, so you do get a huge mix. And I'd say probably more so than other areas of Wolverhampton, because I think that you got areas in there there's a dominant race there. So it really is mixed at Woodthorne.
And what subjects do you teach, or do you teach everything?
I teach everything. I'm also the PE coordinator as well, because obviously I'm quite I'm passionate about sport, as we've already spoken about. So yeah, I end up teaching everything. Doesn't mean that I'm an expert in everything. I try and dodge certain subjects. Computing is one that is probably not my strongest field. But yeah, generally I have to teach everything.
Okay, so now with myself, and I'm trying to get a link here, secondary school maths teacher. When we get children coming from primary school, I'm not having to go at Woodthorne because I've never had children coming from Woodthorne that I've taught. But generally, I find that the maths is very, very kind of indifferent, like in the quality. Now, why do you think that is? Is that because of? Well, I'll just ask you the question. Why do you think that could be?
Maths is taught in every school. It's probably taught differently. I've been in a couple of schools and worked in 2 schools that they have a massively different approach to it. One school was adopting a mastery technique, which was very kind of pre-prescribed, and you pretty much taught from a book, and you were told what to say and what to teach it. And then even in my short time at where I'm at now, we've gone back and forth and we've trialed different things that we thought might work, might be the most successful. I always find that arithmetic, children are really strong with arithmetic, but then when it comes to that reasoning style where you're having to answer your worded problems, that's where a lot of the children become unstuck, and that's where it links into reading, and then a big sort of can of worms opens as to how you tackle that one. Do you tackle the reading first or the reasoning? So
Yeah, when I was, teaching in secondary school, I found that the South Asian lads, especially the Pakistani lads, have really struggled with reading, right? And they don't, when it comes to verbal reasoning, they really do struggle with a mathematics question. I don't know why that is. I mean, Tariq,
I guess it's make up your family background as well. I mean, if you've got a good sport network at home with your parents, obviously reasonably educated, that can support you, especially at a young age, that's just laying the foundations for you to start understanding better, learning better, and going back to what we was talking about earlier. Then as a student, if you want it, you are keen and you want it. When you got kids not from a stronger background, it's a bit more difficult for them because they just don't have that support at home. It's about talking to their friends or the teacher if they get 5 minutes, any sport they want, and then eventually they get to a stage where they're probably thinking, you know what, I'm never going to get past this. I might as well leave it where I am. I don't know how you feel, Jem. I think it is important to have sport at home, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that support as well comes in. It's a term referred to, and Ofsted have started using it now, and it's called cultural capital. And Ofsted look at how you build on that, and the best to describe it is, it's what exposure a child's got from home. So, for example, if they go on a summer holiday, they'll have maybe gone on a plane, they'll have seen a different country, different culture, they'll have eaten different foods maybe, understand the airports, and then they can actually relate that experience to what they're doing in school, for example. So the support that they've got and the more opportunities they've got to see things and do things puts them in a better position then when they come to school and they're learning. Even things like writing, for example, they'll be able to relate to things, they'll have more ideas because they've seen more of the world. So it's this big thing of prior knowledge, and Ofsted, they don't look directly at that, but when they come now and look at schools, they're thinking, how are you identifying which children have been exposed to certain things and which children haven't, and what are you doing as a school to kind of build on that cultural capital? Because the theory is that a child that doesn't have any exposure to all these things is at a disadvantage, and that's why Ofsted are saying, well, actually, we've acknowledged that they're at a disadvantage, so what are you going to do to put everyone on a level playing field? And things like, school trips, again, celebrating those special days, so trips, residentials, again, allowing people to celebrate sort of different cultures. So it might be things like Diwali, Ramadan, for example, talking about those, exposing people to different religions, building just that big, wide repertoire of knowledge to set kids up better for life.
It's interesting that is because, me and Sonny Shaw probably back in school days, 6 of us used to roll in the computer. It takes 3 weeks to get it started before we did anything. But with this day and age, with the World Wide Web, I'm surprised that people just don't have that exposure to everything that's going on in the world. Because, if we had half of these opportunities of what you could learn yourself, probably would have put us way better than what we are now.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is last school I was working at, we had parents' evening, South Asian kids, Pakistanis, none of the parents turned up, right? And the reason, I'm trying to link onto what you've just said, IT, because those parents, I was going to give them some websites to look at, with their kids. I'll say, look, there's for maths. Anybody listening, if you've got youngsters doing GCSE maths, you've got Maths Genie, you got Hegarty Maths, you got Khan Academy, and you got Corbett Maths. That's 4 sites that I've just wheeled off from the top of my head, right? And I was going to let those parents know that use the web, sit down with your kids. You might learn some maths yourself as well, because people will say, well, I ain't got time. Well, if you haven't got time, I appreciate that, but you've got time to sit down with your kids and say, look, let's look at this YouTube program or channel or whatever, and learn some maths if you're struggling with it. It doesn't have to be maths. You've also got English as well. There's resources for English out there as well that you can go on and follow, and it will help improve your children's English as well.
Well, it's a shame to still hear that parents aren't still turning up. I can imagine 30 years ago when we was in education, because it was a different generation, but 4 or 5 generations in now, you think these people will at least give some support to the children, because at the end of the day, that's their future.
They don't. I was shocked. Nobody's turned up, and these were like year 11s, and you're thinking, what, and you've got Caucasian families there, and black families there, and Indian families, and their kids, their parents are turning up. Pakistanis hardly turned up, and people out there might be getting a bit upset and think I'm generalising. I'm not generalising. I'm giving you my experience as a teacher. Jem, what about yourself? What have you seen?
I think again, it's different in terms of where I am at the moment. It's because it's an affluent area. All parents really value education. So I think with that comes that everyone just generally attends. We had a parents' evening recently, and I think that I was fully booked up for both of the 2 days, and I think there was maybe one or two parents that couldn't make it or didn't go. But yeah, generally we have a really good uptake and parents at school, and I think as well it's a big part of the school itself to engage parents, because they're a massive part of it. They're a big part of the cog in terms of their child's education, and ensuring that they get on board. And it's easier at primary school because the parents, you see them every day because they have to be picked up and dropped off. Secondary school, obviously the children are older, so they become a bit more independent, so you don't necessarily see them as much, and in fact you probably may never see some of the parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, in primary school there's much more of a parent presence, so it's easier to kind of speak to them, make sure, and they want to be kept in the loop at that age as well.
Tariq, do you want to add anything onto that before we move on?
No, I'm just really interested in what Jem's saying. Obviously, my children are grown up, so I haven't been involved with any education, certainly for the last 15 years. But it's interesting to see how education's working these days. But a point he made is value education. So if there's any message we're giving out today, is value education. Jem, do you find that these days you can allow children to be themselves, express themselves, or is it still quite rigid? Class formation, size of classes, or do you encourage people to be themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've looked at what we do. Obviously, we're always looking, and back to the leadership style really, is that allowing and constantly evaluating what you're doing. And we looked at similar sort of things that you just asked there, particularly about in a class you've got some children that would be stronger at certain subjects than others, and then traditionally I think what used to be the case is that you sat the strongest children together, you sat the children together that were finding it more difficult, but I think that's kind of gone now, so it's all sort of mixed ability, allowing people to do what they want. With regards to it's sort of empowering people as well, is that celebrating everything, celebrating the differences, different things that they're doing outside of school. And again, it comes back to religion as well, putting a big sort of focus on that and celebrating those individual days. I think that for each one we'll dedicate an afternoon. So we'll come off timetable for that, and it might well be that we'll have people in that will come and talk about it, or the children themselves, particularly further at the school, will be able to sort of share their experiences.
It's interesting saying that. I'm being involved with my local mosque. I won't say the school name, but we've had a school approach us. It's predominantly a Sikh school, and they wanted to learn a bit more about the Muslim faith. So we've got an open day. We've set up an open. They're bringing 30 kids down, split over 2 different sessions. And they're actually going to watch some prayers take place, and they want to have a visit of the mosque. So it's good that schools are doing this, and I wouldn't say they're barriers, but we're breaking down a bit more diversity and getting everybody a bit more inclusive, so everybody knows it's not a shock when they find out, you fast, what's one of them? It's not a shock anymore for this new generation. They understand it's been taught at school. I mean, when me and Sonny Shah grew up, probably Ramadan, you mentioned that at school, and they said, yeah, what's that?
Yeah, they probably thought it was a joke or something. Do you know what I mean?
So I'm glad to hear things are changing, hopefully for the better, because like I said, the future is this next 3-4 generations will see us through for the next 20-30 years, I hope.
We've got as well something that's a relatively kind of new concept as well. Talking about that sort of inclusion under that sort of umbrella term. My perception of inclusion is making sure that your setting is accommodating for everyone, for equal opportunities and equality, and that actually, if a child wants to do something, it's not like, oh, you can come here and come to this school, but you've got to kind of adhere to our rules. Like, of course, the rules are there, but recently there's 2 children that decided that they wanted to start praying at school. So we kind of went out of our way and we sort of thought long and hard. We spoke about it as a leadership team in terms of where they could go, where was the most appropriate setting for it, and gave a kind of dedicated place to that, instead of saying like, well, you can, but you just find yourself wherever. And it's just sort of giving it that sort of value in it, and showing the children that we value it as well, just as much as they do. Because everyone has beliefs, everyone has their different individual sort of hobbies and whatever, and you know, we want to value them.
And I guess if somebody is religious and they're passionate in their faith, that's going to give you a child that's going to behave better, going to have better manners, because he's respecting life more than somebody who's, I'm not saying not so religious, but you know, he's probably going to be naughty all the time, or misbehaving, or missing school. So I guess it helps if you can put these things on for them. You know, it's going to help the child's development as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of what I sort of base my practice around anyway is respect. I give the children respect, and the staff that I work with respect, and expect that back.
Yeah.
And I think that if I'm not getting that back, then it's where it falls short. But part of that respect is respecting their culture, respecting what they believe in, and if they need an opportunity to do something, then I've got to respect that and give it them. And in return, I then expect that respect given is given to me.
Well, I guess with kids, you've always got to have boundaries, because otherwise it'd be a free for all, and we all know what can happen when it's a free for all. So yeah. No,
Well, I don't know. I mean, what are the youngsters like in primary schools? Because in secondary school, I mean, they're completely out of control.
I think it's difficult period coming back after being at home for 2 years, particularly as some of the kids were coming back in the lower end of school and they'd only had 6 months of formal schooling, and then all of a sudden they found themselves in year 3 where they were expected to sit down in a classroom and listen for kind of 8 hours a day, and what they'd been used to is do some maths and then you can go on your iPad all day. So it was a difficult period for them to come back into, but I can only speak for where I'm at right now, and the behaviour is generally good. But I think that doesn't just come from the area that I work. I think that also comes from the sort of what we've got in place for that. We've got a really good reward system, because children are quite extrinsically motivated, and they do like that reward. So making sure that we recognise the success and just reward the good positives.
Again, it comes down to what you talked about earlier, leadership, you know, and it comes down to your leadership style. And if you're a good leader and you're a good teacher, then it's like being a captain on a cricket pitch. You want the best out of the players. You want the best out of your students as a teacher, I guess.
Well,
So,
well, to be fair with you, I think Gem's students are in a very good position, because he's a leader and he's going to sort of instill those values of leadership in. They'll actually see those values coming from him. You know, it's like yourself when you're coaching your youngsters cricket.
Role modelling.
It's role modelling, isn't it? You know what I mean?
If you're a good role model yourself, I guess that does help for people around you, doesn't it? I mean, if you're not a great role model yourself, people tend to be a bit more distracted and switch off easily, because they think, well, he don't do it, why should I bother?
Well, I think from what you two have been talking about, and I've been listening, is that I also believe that there's also a community involvement is so important in education. I've sort of kind of seen that, you know, you're talking about cultures and things like that, and I think it's something that I've been working very hard with you know, inner city Wolverhampton, is with, you know, the mosques, trying to get a couple of them on board to say, look, you know, we've got to really pull our finger out here. and work closely with our community to actually
I
help.
think we're in a better position than we were maybe 10, 15 years ago. I mean,
We
some
still
of the
could be.
children that
We
I
still
meet-
could be better.
Oh,
though.
we're nowhere near being perfect or
But-
matching anybody else, but we are definitely getting better.
But Tariq,
But we just need to speed that process up a little bit.
yeah, but
to
who's
get
the
more people better.
who's the role models out there now? It ain't a Jem Stack or a Tariq Ali. It's the local, the local baddies, isn't it? The ones who out there, selling what they have to do, which is inappropriately out on the streets. They seem to be the role models, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is unfortunate, really. But
Is that something that you've seen, Jem? Was it something that you're away from living in Tetnall?
You are right. I mean, I don't necessarily see it too much, but I think where I'm at in terms of the stage of their education that I work with them, I think the biggest role model for that age is people like Laserbeam, that are the YouTubers, and that's the biggest battle, is that getting them to value education when nowadays being a YouTuber or an influencer is actually a genuine career. So
Absolutely.
I think that a lot of people at that age, they seem to think that they can be a professional gamer or YouTuber.
But just going back to what you're saying, people seem to be more disengaged. Do you think the value of education is just been so demeaned? What I mean by that, the value of education is not there for people. Think, well, I can get a job anyway. I haven't even got an education. I can earn good money anyway. My family's got a business. I'll just slide in there. But they don't realise yourself, your own education is your education. That's your brains. That's what you're going to be passing on to your children.
Yeah, I think Jem's right. I think what it is I've got a nephew and he's about 10, 11. And I said, so what do you reckon you'll do when you finish school? And he goes, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And I had to like look that up because I didn't know what a YouTuber was. And then I realised, okay, he wants to make videos on YouTube, right? And, I was shocked because, he's got no focus about the importance of education, right? I don't know what my co-teacher here thinks, but I think the education system here needs to be scrapped and they need to look at another way of teaching kids in school. I really do.
That's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Well, it is extreme, but it's my experiences. I mean, I've been working in secondary school and, mate, maths is a subject that 80% kids hate in school, in secondary school. I mean, I don't know what about primary school. So if you got that many people hating a subject like that, or even English, English is probably better. There's probably about 60% who don't want to study English, yeah. But maths is one of the most hated subjects out there.
But I'm presuming they're still core subjects, aren't they? So
they are core subjects.
You're going to have to do it, I'm afraid. So.
But I was, Jem was talking about a holistic approach. Obviously he wasn't. I'm looking at it on the education side. I think they need to look at the education system in the country. I think it needs to change because it doesn't have to be always about GCSE exams or A levels and whatever. There's other ways. If somebody's going into a trade, they don't need to do a GCSE.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the last couple of years hasn't helped anybody in the education system. I think it's going to take 3-4 years just to recover, get back on your feet and start going forward again. I think it's just been pulled back a few years, hasn't it? It's been a shame, but it's not just education, it's work, people's lives, everything. Just the last couple of years, it's just like the whole life's just stopped for 2 years. It's just like no one's got anywhere.
Well, the thing is, guys, we've got about a minute to go, so I'm going to give you guys about 20 seconds each just to sort of recap on what we've discussed today. I'll go with you first, Tariq.
Oh, well, because we're talking about education, I would say value education. Please support your children, especially your young children.
Jem?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, agree with that.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, thanks to you both coming on. I'd sort of support what Jem and Tariq have said. Please out there, support your kids, not just with education. Get them down to the local cricket grounds, more specifically Ford Houses Cricket Club, so we can get more members there.
Or Wolverhampton.
Or Wolverhampton, as Tariq said. But it's a pleasure for you guys listening out there. Have a lovely evening, and goodbye from Tariq, myself, and Jem. God bless, and have a good rest of the fasting. Thank you, and God bless. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.